Well, good afternoon. It is, what is it, Friday, July 31st, about 2 o'clock, and doesn't feel like it's 90 degrees. I'd guess it's like 89 degrees. But I'm gonna go run up to Home Depot and see if I can find a light duty 15-foot extension cord so I can finally get a light going in my Harley shed. So, let's go enjoy some sunny afternoon. I put the Thunder torque inserts onto my exhaust. Curious to see what the sound difference is. Picked up on the recording. And I finally put a front fork tube extensions on, as I've got 13-inch shocks on the back of this thing. I used to have 11s, and I needed to get another 1.25 inches out of the front, so I put 2-inch fork tube extensions on, ran it up to 1.25 inches. So yeah, let's go for a ride. Ah, the Tacoma keys strike again. I'll be right back. And I'm back, this time with the right keys. Looks like it's cookout day at Home Depot. Alright, got my extension cord. Found the one in the store that didn't have a barcode apparently. Had to look that up manually. Alright, let's get back home. Alright, well, I couldn't tell any difference in sound from inside the helmet with it just at idle, no helmet. It did sound a little bit more muffled, but this is just on the, I can't remember what they call it, the 158 or whatever size Thunder Torque inserts. I purchased it and the next size up because this is a 3-inch exhaust, but it has a baffle in it. So the baffle opening was like, I don't know, 1.5 inches or something. So I ordered those Thunder Torque inserts. However, they are not installed inside the baffle. It's just past where the baffle stops. But the next size up, the 258 or whatever, looked like it was quite a bit of exhaust restriction. I put them in and fired it up for a second earlier, and it is substantially quieter. And so I don't know, I might try those out tomorrow. But for today, I'm gonna go put some lights in that shed right after I check on my pork adobada that's over on the smoker. I'll be back. Okay, just got those lights up. I think they'll work just fine. They were the cheapest, highest rated under cabinet lights on Amazon. So as long as you temper your expectations, then things like that are fine. As long as you realize that you're buying first and foremost the cheapest, highest rated lights on Amazon, like a glorified string of Christmas lights for half the price. And you know what? I have low expectations about everything. I mean, you'll notice by my OSB sheet of plywood door and my heavily weathered OSB Harley shed that my expectations are, well, they land somewhere under the stones that I'm standing on right now. So these will work great for me. And hopefully this resolves some of the low light issues with the camera here, because it does turn into a red blur if I turn the ISO up at all. And I'd like to keep the ISO low, but I'd also like to keep my shutter speed fairly high because I'm not really a big motion blur guy. So I like my shutter speed 240. I don't want to reduce it down to let more light in. I don't know, my eyes like what they like, and I think this is going to work out great. So let's go pull this thing into the shed and find out. Yeah, I'm not sure how this looks on the camera, but it's probably not a very big difference. But for me, this is huge because I will be able to see in here in the morning instead of it being absolutely pitch black now that we're losing sunlight. So, yeah, mission accomplished. I'm really not expecting much in the way of being able to increase picture on the camera, though. That's fine. Those Thunder Torque inserts are really growing on me. I could notice a huge difference just pulling it in here. Normally it was extremely high-pitched echoey, and it really kind of shaved off that just the highest frequency sound that this thing had. I mean, heck, let me fire this up again. Normally it would be like I said, very high frequency noise inside here, and now it's all of that's gone, but it kept all the mid and the bottom. Let's just fire that up again. Yeah, I like it. Now I understand why everybody sings praise about these things. I'm not going to step up to the larger size. I just don't think that there's enough gap between the insert and the 3-inch pipe. If I go up to the next one, which was the, where are they? So if I go up to the Thunder Torque 258, that is just not going to be enough space, I don't think. So no sense putting them back on. I'm happy with what I got. I've got other things I'll be working on the bike. No sense wasting time on something I'm already happy with. I think next up on the agenda is probably going to be maybe try a 1-inch taller riser. We'll see. I haven't made up my mind. Kind of happy with where my hands are at, but I went with a 1-inch taller spacer on the riser, and it felt better, even better than it did before. So now I'm curious if another inch will make it feel even better than before. I think right now my hands are kind of right about here. Let's see, if I was to just come straight back, kind of like right below my nipples. That feels pretty good. I think the next step up that I would have to go would be 1.5 inches. I don't know. The 1.25 inches on the fork tube extensions is pretty cool though. I actually like it. It sits my butt back into the saddle just a little tiny bit more because it's just ever so slightly leaned up. I mean, if somebody else was to hop on this, they'd never even notice it. But I've been riding around, you know, for so long with it as it was. Feels a little bit better. I like that. And that's kind of all I got. All right, let's go enjoy the rest of my Friday off. My no plans Friday. I think I'm just gonna sit inside and wait until this pork adobado's done. That's looking fantastic. And then probably just call it a night. Have a great evening.